Welcome to Mortal Kombat Engines, where logic goes to die and cities play bumper cars with society. The movie opened with this industrial era looking town, and everyone is going about their life when this girl comes running. And, never mind, stands there like a lost puppy. Why, you might wonder. Meet Hester Shaw, with a lot of daddy issues, and one scar, one knife, and one goal. Tell you about that later. Because London is coming, and it has wheels now. Predator City! Inside a tiny scavenger town called Salt Hook, people start panicking. Kids cry, old men scream, and the mayor's out here like, oh no, London is hunting us. Yes, you heard right. London is hunting. It's literally chasing cities to eat them. Forget GPS. This is Grand Theft Civilization. The little mining town kicks its engines into high gear. Spoiler alert, the gear was neutral at best. South Hook tries to outrun London, like a shopping cart outrunning a monster truck. They're swerving, panicking, screaming, and London's gaining like it's been doing squats in the gym all year. The Predator City launches harpoons into the baby town, drags it in like a sushi platter, and everyone inside goes, whoops, that's f***ed up. We enter the belly of the beast. London's got class tiers, rich people on top, poor people near the exhaust pipe. Classic. We meet Tom Natsworthy, a museum boy who collects ancient tech like toasters and iPhones. Guy looks like he got lost on his way to a Harry Potter audition. By the way, this bitch is the daughter of Thaddeus Valentine. Tom worships Thaddeus Valentine the hero, archaeologist who's basically Indiana Jones if he was a war criminal with a skincare routine. But Tom doesn't just collect iPhone and toasters, he's got some old tech that was used to f*** the entire world into a coma. While the prisoners of South Hook are being processed, a cloaked figure slips through the crowd. It's Hester Shaw, scarred face. Hood up, knife ready. She looks like she's about to drop the edgiest diss track of 31-9. She stalks Valentine through the crowd, waits for her moment, and bam, stab, right to the gut. The man's out here giving a speech, and she goes full Assassin's Creed on him. But instead of dying, Valentine brushes it off like it's a paper cut. Then Tom grabs her and gets his balls cracked, and she ran towards the engine room, engine floor, or whatever it is called. He chases Hester like a confused librarian in a cosplay convention. Also, how the f*** can a librarian jump like that? When he finally catches up, she hits him with the most dramatic trauma line ever. He killed my mother. Tom freezes. The man's never seen drama in his life. And suddenly he's in a soap opera written by an idiot. Before he can even process it, Valentine shows up like, hey, thanks for helping, now die. Pushes Tom down the chute too. Bro got betrayed faster than a free trial subscription. Cause this for brains went on and asked if he had killed her mother. Well, now you know.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
Now Catherine comes running and asked about Tom, but Valentine told her that he fell, but she saw this dude and now she's suspicious. Back home, she asks Valentine about Hester and looks at the maps laying around, and now she is more suspicious. Now both Tom and Hester are out in the wasteland. He's confused. She's pissed. And London? Already miles away, rolling like a high-speed museum of doom. Tom starts whining. Hester's not having it. She's like, shut up and keep walking, you marshmallow. Tom and Hester are hiking through the post-apocalyptic wasteland like they just got kicked out of Hogwarts and landed in Mad Max Dirt Edition. Tom's wheezing, stumbling, crying about London like someone stole his Netflix password. Meanwhile, Hester's out here walking in complete silence like she's cosplaying sadness. Girl's personality is 90% trauma and 10% knife. Tom tries a small talk like, so, your mom died, huh? And she responds with the emotional warmth of a dead cactus. Congrats, Tom. You just found the only girl in the apocalypse who'd rather cuddle with a landmine than talk about feelings. On the other hand, Valentine is building the same weapon of get into a coma in a church, where we meet this mad scientist who tells him about a robot zombie goes by the name of Shrike, who is also looking for Hester. He goes to see Shrike in Supermax prison and set him free by drowning everybody else. And this dude is what happens when the Terminator gets dumped and joins a poetry club. He's got glowing eyes, metal claws, and the voice of a broken fax machine. But inside, just a sad metal dad who wants his daughter back. His dead-eyed, stabby daughter. Shrike's the only character who can break your spine and then whisper, I did it because I love you. Now, Hester took a little nap, but this dumbass is screaming on top of his lungs and invited scavengers for dinner party. But Hester woke up just in time to save him, and they are rescued by this dude. But here's a twist, he's also a scavenger, and now they are in a cell. Cue sad piano music. We're in flashback mode now. Tiny Hester and her mom are living the peaceful life of archaeologist hippies. Then boom, enter Thaddeus Valentine like a home-wrecking magician. At first he's all smiles like, hey, I'm just here to study old junk and definitely not commit homicide. The next thing you know, he murders Hester's mom and tries to kill Hester too, but she survives with a gnarly face scar and a lifetime supply of abandonment issues.
End of flashback.
Back in London, Catherine Valentine is getting suspicious, so she heads down into the gut. It's all smoke, grease, and bad lighting, basically an industrial horror show. She finds Bevis Pod, the only engineer in a 1,000-mile radius who looks like he survives off Red Bull and anxiety. She's like, something weird's going on. My dad might be lying. And Bevis is like, duh, your dad's got the vibe of a Bond villain with better PR. And he tells her about the church and Tom being thrown over by her dad. Now he's building his hobby weapon up in the church. Now Catherine's almost convinced that her dad is a bad guy of the story. Back to our favorite mismatched survivors. The scrap hunters take them to Rustwater, a market that sells people like it's a freaking medieval Walmart. They're lined up like Black Friday specials with attitude. Tom's like, this must be a mistake. And Hester, she's been here before. She's just waiting for someone to mess up so she can go full murder mode. And just when things couldn't get worse, boom. Enter Anna Fang. Red coat, red ship, red flags for everyone. Tom and Hester are about to be sold off like expired microwave meals in rust water when Anna Fang walks up to the stage and she's shooting, slicing, spinning, basically a one-woman John Wick with eyeliner. People are screaming. Hester's like, finally, a functional adult. And Tom's busy trying not to pee. Anna's like, come with me if you want to live, but like, cooler. While trying to get to Anna's ship, enter Shrike, a reanimated, undead killing machine with glowing eyes, claws, and I haven't blinked in 300 years. He walks up to Tom and Hester but gets blasted by Anna, and they gets into the ship with Anna flying off, but it's not over yet, because he's not dead. Next, Anna introduced herself to Hester and Tom, but Tom thinks she's dangerous and tells Hester to stay behind him. He's going to handle it.
How? How exactly will you handle it?
Dude almost shits pants. But then Anna looks at Hester and she's injured, so Anna gets the first aid kit and tells her that she's a friend. Cut to the next scene, Tom asks Hester about zombie RoboCop, and why is he hunting her? Hester finally opens up to Tom and we see a flashback to her childhood. After her mom was murdered by Valentine, Hester was raised by Shrike in some broken bunker in the wastelands. He tried to turn her into a stalker like him, basically a zombie cyborg stepdaughter, but she escaped before the procedure. That's why he's now obsessed with either bringing her back or destroying her. Meanwhile in London, Catherine is in full detective mode. She and Bevis goes to get the tech Tom showed her earlier in the movie, but this dude who was supposed to be in charge is like, they came, they took, and they left. Now she and Bevis sneak into a super secret vault where the weapon is being rebuilt. You know, the mega ancient doomsday f***ball weapon that turned entire continents into ash during the 60-minute war? Yeah, that thing. On the other hand, Tom and Hester are brought to this floating airport where they meet this guy, and he gets his merry band together for a meeting, and they ask Tom about Valentine's plan, but dude's a librarian so he doesn't know anything. But Hester tells him about a box with a symbol on. That Valentine took when he killed her mother, and now everyone is losing their collective shit. That's when Tom suddenly remembers the Doom weapon has a kill switch, and it's a USB drive. But nobody knows where it is now. Pandora Shaw is dead. And then this chick comes in and tells them that London is moving towards the east, where the Great Wall is at. But before they get to planning, their meeting is over. When Shrike enters the party and goes full killer mode, they try to fight him off. But because he's a robot zombie, they end up getting her handed to them. Now Tom and Hester run for their lives, but he caught up to them, chokeslams Tom into a coma, and about to crush him, but Hester pleads for his life while crying. And just like that, Shrike glitches, gives Hester a necklace he took when he found her alone in Wasteland years ago. Shrike gets a blue screen of death, and with all the destruction he caused earlier, the floating airport is also gone. Back in London, Catherine and Bevis sneaks up to church, where we see Daddy Valentine getting the weapon of mass stupidity activated, and comes in this dude, red-cloaked. He is supposed to be the mayor of London. He tries to stop him, but Valentine does this.
I'm gonna meet you.
Valentine gives the order, and the mad scientist uses the box to activate the weapon. These two are now way out of their depth. So, mayor down, weapon ready, and Valentine goes full villain mode. He announces to everyone that they're going to take down the wall. In other words, they're about to go nuts on everyone in sight. Meanwhile, Anna and the rest of the crew head toward the wall. Now let me tell you about this huge wall. It was built to keep stuff out. Kind of like the Great Wall in Game of Thrones, except instead of White Walkers, they're trying to keep cities with monster truck wheels from crashing the party. Anna goes to meet this one serious looking dude, the Lord Commander of the Wall. Probably hasn't smiled since birth. She drops the news about Valentine and his evil little plan. And the guy, in full NPC energy, goes, prepare for battle. So while the apocalypse is loading in the background, Hester is just casually walking around like it's a mall stroll. And boom, she sees this giant Medusa mural, and it's got an extra eyeball on its forehead, looking like someone tried to install Google Lens on a death laser. Suddenly her brain goes, wait a damn minute, that necklace Shrike gave me before he blue screened looks kind of familiar. So she does what she should have done literally hours ago. She opens the thing, and guess what? There's a USB kill stick in it the whole time, Shrike out here being the MVP, and Hester's been walking around with the off switch to the apocalypse like it's a fashion accessory. She runs over to Tom like, yo, I got the thing that kills the big thing. But before they can even start tech support mode, Valentine orders the attack. That one mad scientist gal, she presses the big kaboom button. The wall's cannons, gone. The Sky Fleet, cooked. The whole defense plan just got deleted harder than Internet Explorer. London didn't just pull up, it pulled up and clapped. So now Tom and Hester goes to Anna and let her know about the USB. But their Sky Fleet had already got sucked into a black hole. They can do nothing, right? Wrong.
They didn't destroy us.
So now Anna and her crew basically form their own little suicide squad, except instead of fighting crime, they're here to shove a USB stick full of, let's just say, questionable internet history straight into London's Doom cannon and fry it. They take to the skies, looking like they're about to drop the hottest mixtape of 31.9, but Valentine's not having it. He whips out his big old Doom cannon and starts blasting, trying to delete them mid-flight. But these are the heroes of the story. They've got unlimited HP turned on, so yeah, they still make it to London. Problem is, London's got protection. Artillery, big, nasty, we don't like visitors kind of protection. Cue a fireworks show of explosion. After enough enemy guns get turned into scrap metal, Hester, Anna, and Tom finally reach the city. But oh wait, surprise! More backup artillery pops up, and now they're under heavy fire again. That's when some absolute maniacal pilot decides, you know what? I am the missile, and rams her plane right into it. Boom, artillery gone. Anna, cool as ever, hands a gun to Hester and basically says, here, go knock on Valentine's front door. She drops Hester at the church gate, but red-dressed goons immediately start shooting at her. Anna's like, not on my watch, and sprays them with her plane's minigun like she's mowing the lawn. Then, with maximum drama, she flies her plane up to the church rooftop, tells Tom, you're driving now, and eats herself onto the roof for the final showdown. So Anna storms into the church like she's about to hand Valentine his eviction notice from life. She gets him in her sights. Finger on the trigger. But nope, this random dude jumps in front of Valentine like he's auditioning for Human Shield the movie. Valentine doesn't even say thanks, he just pulls the trigger and bang, Anna's hit. She's hurt, but this is Anna, she's not tapping out yet. Valentine strolls up like a smug waiter and tells his crew to keep firing at the wall. Yeah, because nothing says romantic evening like wall demolition. Enter Hester. Girl doesn't knock, doesn't announce herself, just walks in, pulls out the USB, and plugs it into the big evil cannon control box. Now the Doom cannon gets treated to the most horrifying virus known to man. Your 3 a.m. search history. Circuits fried, software's crying, and after Hester slaps in the kill code, the cannon goes from city killer to very expensive paperweight. Mission accomplished! She dips out. Up top, Anna and Valentine are sword fighting like it's the Steampunk Highlander Championships. There can only be one, and apparently, it's the guy with worse morals. Then Valentine stabs her, and she gets thrown straight into the raging storm that kicked off after the crazy Doom weapon's kill switch fried itself. Valentine strolls outside the church like nothing happened, and Catherine's there ready to roast him. You're an asshole. Valentine, unfazed, basically says, we're entering the wall, by the way. Translation, I just sent my goons to the control room to murder everyone who could stop the city from doing a high-speed faceplant into the wall. Catherine runs to the control room and, surprise, it's a murder buffet. Everyone's dead, systems fried, and she's about to panic until Tom calls in on the radio. Stop the city from hitting the wall. Catherine's like, buddy, the drivers are dead. So Tom's like, okay, plan B, open the big old shark mouth gate. She opens it, and now Tom, the flying librarian, goes full wordy WLU kamikaze pilot into London's undercarriage. Dude blasts the main engine like he's been flying since birth. Still no explanation how he learned this in 2 days. But whatever. Meanwhile, Valentine heads to his getaway plane, but Hester's already on the roof waiting like Batman with trust issues. They fight for a bit, and Valentine drops the bomb. He's her father. Cool story, still stabbing you. Before she can finish the job, Tom swoops in with his ride, and Hester hops aboard. Seconds later, Valentine's plane gets a direct ticket to Kingdom Come Airways, courtesy of Tom's very expensive, very fiery farewell gift. Boom, Valentine's done. London stops. Wall saved. And that, my friends, is how a librarian, a murder USB, and some daddy issues saved the world. Oh, and by the way, Lord Commander of the Wall took in the same people who were enjoying the show when Valentine was using weapon of get to destroy their home. Everyone wins, except for Valentine, since he's supposed to lose as a villain.